At UFC 251, Jorge Masvidal lost to Kamaru Usman via unanimous decision. At the post-fight press conference, he spoke on his performance. He also had some harsh words for Colby Covington.
The fragile guy with the MAGA hat, definitely not him, because he got finished by this guy with a full training camp. He had like 12 weeks and he got finished, so I think that guy's below me and this dude by a lot, you know. 6-8 notice and I was nowhere near getting hurt or getting put out, you know. The gas tank wasn't the best, but I wasn't going nowhere as far as damage goes. Everybody could see that. So definitely not that punk. Leon Edwards, I don't know if the numbers make sense, or whoever it is, if the numbers make sense and it gets me closer to the title. Besides you and a couple of reporters in here, nobody knows that guy. And he just got finished by the guy that I fought in 6-8 notice. He got his jaw broken, had to run out of there. So I don't think he's at this level. But I don't know who it's gonna be, man. Whoever makes the most sense for us. I hate coming up short. I'm not gonna make no excuses. He was a better man tonight. There were some areas where I didn't give him enough credit, and there were some areas where I felt with a better training camp, I could definitely surpass him. And I think I showed a lot of my wrestling on 6-8 notice that I'm not too easy to take down or to hold down on the ground. I made a lot of mistakes. I tried to fight in spots since I didn't feel my gas tank was at the greatest, and he fought in better spots, you know, right when I'd get loose and start to open up. He was able to clinch me up and take it back into his world, so I'm not gonna take nothing away from him. He won fair and square. I'll do whatever it takes to get back in front of that man and compete again and get my hand raised. Even if I didn't get him in the first, as long as I picked my spots and exploded, I could do well. And like maybe there's a couple times I hurt him, and as soon as I started to open up, boom, he'd be able to take me into his world and zap a little bit of the energy. Didn't let me get moving too much, you know. I didn't keep it in my world long enough for me to actually do damage and sustain that damage, keep that damage coming so it could accumulate and hurt his gas tank. I'll be back, man. Going into the third round, I was fatiguing, and I was like, nah, man, nobody's gonna stop me in this UFC. Not nobody, not King Kong, not Godzilla. And I proved it to myself, tired or not, hurting or not, I could keep pushing, you know. My cardio was fading a little bit, and I wasn't willing to give in to nobody's will. His jab was I knew he had an okay jab, but his jab was okay, you know. His fakes, though, I could tell he was just level changing the fake. He was able to like kind of lower me to sleep and then grab me for the clinch, you know, where he'd fake and then all of a sudden he was grabbing me and we were up against the fence. And there was other areas where I felt real good, actually. When he got into my legs, I felt I could wrestle with him all day. I stuffed a lot of takedowns. I'll be back, you know. He knows that I'm no pushover. I just feel like I let a lot of people down. It's a shitty performance. I'm just thinking about the fight and running through scenarios in my head what I could have done better, different spots I could have fought in. Been a little bit more aggressive in certain times, maybe held back in others. I don't know, it keeps you playing in my mind. I wish I could fight some more. In some spots, I felt he was better than I expected, and in other spots, I overestimated him. You know, he got into my legs a couple times, and I was able to scramble real well. He got some takedowns. I was able to stand up without using too much energy. But just him pressing me up against the cage was very nice how he did that. He was able to keep me there, and when I'd start to move, I'd feel that he'd change off to other things. So I definitely got to work on that. I got a good formula in my head, though, on how to beat him the next time. I thought I had the formula. Now I know the formula. It takes a lot of gas tank, a lot of conditioning, a lot of more wrestling rounds with high-level guys. So I definitely got a square root on how to beat this guy. A lot of people make the excuse for me 6-8 notice, but it's no excuse. Once you sign that dotted line, well, you shouldn't have signed that dotted line if you weren't in the best shape ever to compete for a world title. So I just feel like that. I just feel that I should have been in overall better shape, you know? So it's just a matter of time before I get back in there.
So would you say that was the greatest female fight ever?
Probably not. Sorry, Whaley. That was fight of the year. I take that back.
Good job, man. Congratulations. 50. Broke me down the first round. John broke the first shot. I beat it. That's all now. Yeah, yes, I beat it. It looks swollen on that. I knew straight away. Yeah, it looks swollen. Hey, 50 changed my life, Dana. Yes. We'll get you figured out, kid. Congratulations. Thank you, bro.
Dana White at the UFC 251 post-fight press conference gave his thoughts on Kamaru Usman versus Jorge Masvidal.
I thought that if you know, George didn't catch him with something, you know, that's the way the fight would go. And, you know, his takedown defense was unbelievable. You know, he would get taken down and get back up against Usman. It's tough to do. He did it for 5 rounds and, you know, did what he could do. Usman's a beast, man. Guy's a beast. Well, that was the fight we were working on. That's the fight he was training for. There was a 2-week gap there where he wasn't the fight. But, I mean, I heard he was bringing in high-level wrestlers to train with and everything else, and I think you saw that tonight, you know? And as far as his shape, if he wasn't in shape, he wouldn't be able to stop those takedowns, you know, going into 3rd, 4th, 5th round. He stopped a lot of them, and he got back up when he was down. So, you know, he fought a good fight. I don't know what Masvidal wants to do. He said, I'll be back. You know, we're talking in the octagon, so I don't know what he wants to do. Give him some time, see what he wants to do next.
Two more. Good, last one, clean. There it is. Two more.
Kamaru Usman at the UFC 251 post-fight press conference spoke on his win over Jorge Masvidal.
I felt good. Just kind of dealing with all the circumstances that I had to deal with this whole week. I think in the last 3 days I slept maybe 10 hours, if that. And then of course dealing with the heat. And then of course having the weight cut and things like that. It was a very, very challenging week for me mentally. Like, I can't even tell you guys what the last 24 hours was like mentally. And then of course with a guy, with a dog like Jorge Masvidal, it was very challenging, but you know, these are what champions are made of. You have to rise to the occasion and take care of business, and that's what I did tonight. You always have to be a little concerned, especially with a guy like him. Like he's a real dog, you know, all props to him, much respect. A lot of people were thinking that he would be out of shape for this fight. He wasn't. I mean, he's been training, and he came in prepared. He came in ready. Of course, I would like a lot more time to really strategically prepare for a guy like him, to really pick him apart better than I did tonight. But I had to do what I do best, and that's dominate a guy from start to finish. He's a veteran. He's a crafty veteran. You know, he's got tricks that a lot to the untrained eye people don't see. He's got a lot of tricks there, but you know, I would love to do that fight again with, especially you see my last couple fights. You know, I like to pick my spots. I like to really pick a guy apart, and I've evolved so much, you know, but I still got, you know, tools in the tool shed. So if I need to wrestle, damn, I'm a wrestle, you know, but I need to showcase a lot more of what I have in the toolbox, and you know, I would love to do that with a lot more time. No, it's not that I anticipated. I know his wrestling's good. Like, people were not giving him credit for that. I know his wrestling's good. He's one of the best at. His takedown defense is very, very good, and you can see it in his style. When you watch a fighter, when they're afraid of someone's wrestling, afraid of being taken down, they're crouched over in a stance, they're very low, and they're afraid to throw kicks and things of that nature. Masvidal's not. He's standing straight up, bouncing up and down. He's firing off those kicks at will. And I knew he was going to be a tough guy. His wrestling's always been good, but, you know, my wrestling's just a little bit better. You know, my wrestling is just a little bit better than everybody. Just tactically, how to put a whole fight together. I'm just a little bit better than everybody in this division. That's why I'm the champion.
Biggest nights of the year, UFC 251. We're here on Fight Island, Yaz Island, Abu Dhabi. It's about to start on pay-per-view and on ESPN for the prelims. If you're a UFC fan, if you're a true UFC fan, you are not going to miss this show. And if you do, you better question what a fan you are. But either way, we're here for you. You be there for us. Big cheers, no fears forever. John, are you ready? It's time!
What? What'd you say? Getting smart there?